Okay, welcome back. We are going to do part two of our final episode week of the grueling Hollywood week, which just some people just couldn't deal with, unfortunately. And it's interesting that this is where it, it, it becomes an endurance contest and a chameleon contest. Who can change and evolve the best, and who's got the most angles that they can approach songs from. It's kind of like tricks up your sleeve. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this season, though. I like these contestants. I do see what's coming. You kind of see the projection of who their likely top 10 are going to be. And I thought it'd be fun to have like a little contest. I've got some American Idol related memorabilia that I thought would be fun to put up. And I'm going to give you one example. Um, just one moment. Okay, obviously this is for American Idol buffs, okay? It's nothing that any person in their right mind would probably care about. But I do know that there are a lot of American Idol fans that aren't in their right mind. I was around them for many years, and I came to really understand and appreciate and really love a lot of them, and felt a lot of love from them. So with that, let me just say that this is a very, very, very rare. Check this out. Have you even seen one of these before? Okay, but anyway, I would think this is rare. I don't know. I would imagine these are all over eBay. Okay, so anyway, it would just be a fun little memento from history. So if anyone guesses it right, that's the catch. I mean, this isn't something you're just going to get for signing up. Well, maybe I will. Let's put it this way. Whoever gets the most right is going to get this, okay? And if there's a tie, I'll figure out some fair way that, we'll pick a tiebreaker, because obviously I don't have more than, well, maybe I do have more than one. Da-da-da-dum. Anyway, at this point, I just thought it'd be fun to do something kind of goofy like this. And, again, hey, this is meant to have fun. Last season, I need to come out of my shell more, okay? So I'm going to try to be goofy every now and then. And I'm a jazz musician, which by definition means I may have really bad humor sometimes. It's just something about jazz musicians. I don't know what it is, but sometimes it just is the way it is. Okay, anyway, moving right along here. Let's get up and running here with our final episode. All right, so start things off. Ryan gives us basically the rundown. We all know what it is. It's Final Judgment. We got 51 contestants. Did the judges really have to sit and think super hard about those final few? Probably. And of course, that's just the way they build tension and drama and all that. They might have had a lot of those 24 figured out once they had the 75. Because if you think about it, if you go through this top 24, once it is revealed, there aren't a lot of surprises there. Okay? I mean, there's one or two that I think were robbed, and I've already made a big deal about, okay? Jessica Cabral? Come on. Producers, what were you guys thinking? What were you thinking? Talking about rising to the occasion, and you cut all those girls. That's not cool. So anyway, let's move right along here. Surprisingly, the person that opened yesterday's show opens up the next show, Stephanie Negrete. And again, she does Girl on Fire. Let's just say, I mean, there's not a lot more to say. Her vibe is the same every time. She's like a pageant singer to me, which means she's really, really good. It's like she's polished in her technique and her sound and that, but I don't know, there's something with her depth of musicianship. Her soul still isn't, I'm not feeling as much as I want to feel from her. Because I think she's got a lot of potential. But, it's hard to say. There's stuff she does really, really, really well, but there are some things she needs to tweak so that the emotion completely transfers. That's the best way to put it, I think. All right, so following her, we have Shelby Z. Okay, you know, she's always talking about she's got this chip on her shoulder all the time. About, oh yeah, people said I couldn't do this and that and that and that. And yeah, she's been through a lot and this and that. But you know what? I still worry about just, even though her voice is so amazing, I see her being top 10. I do. I see her getting in there. Because she's the other country girl. You know, we've got Genevieve, we've got her. Emily Brooke is too, but, you know, she's like that Taylor Swift girl. I just don't know if she's going to make it in. But we'll see. Okay, then we have Michelle Marie. And we finally see her perform and realize this is just way over her head, and it has been for a long time. But at the same time, it's, you know, she was perfect for the show. She fit, you know, I think she absolutely was a great contestant. I see why they wanted to give her every benefit of the doubt, but yeah, it was very obvious that she was kind of still into the country pageanty vibe, and it just, you know, I want to be a, what is it? I want to be a something cowboy. Anyway, at this point, she went out at the right time. Colette Lush. Now, I'm really glad that she was finally out, but what I don't understand is why they were so high on her. You know, I just didn't ever feel she ever got to the emotional level that her songs needed. You know, she seemed like she was just performing the song. She wasn't really connecting with the song. So, I'd say that was a really good call. I don't have any problem with that. Okay, now Jessica Cabral. I'm just insanely upset. If there's anybody that I think should have gone through with flying colors, I mean, I would have put her top 3 women. So I'm pretty upset about that. I think that was a really bad call. And if you contrast her with all the other girls that they show, Jessica Clark and Amit Cannon and Terrian, none of them were even close to Jessica Cabral. Okay, and then we look at some of the others that made it through. You know, Jessica blows them away, I'm sorry. Bad call, judges, bad call, producers, judges. You should have fought for her. What the heck were you thinking? All right, let's move through to a few other people that we really didn't see much about. I don't know how to explain them. It's just, you know, I guess this show, you're always going to get that. There's going to be people you just don't know about. I wish they would put up their auditions or their final 51 performances, not just the 24. I'd like to see how they got to the 24. It'd be nice to see what we had to choose. The judges had to choose from. See if we agreed. Okay. Next up, Mackenzie Borg. As far as his Row song, that I think blew everybody away. It put him as a front runner in the guys. And so now he does Can't Help Falling in Love, and it's nice. It's a nice arrangement, but it's just like the other song. So the nice thing is, can he grow? I want to see him grow and be a chameleon. So far, he's kind of just repackaging the same thing, but he's showing that it works. I mean, he does a good job at it. I don't think he can keep this up, though, for very much longer. All right. Next guy, Trent Harmon. There is no question that this guy's heart propels him into the top 24. I mean, no question. And the only problem is, once he's better, he's going to have to step it up. And there are some weird little things that he's got in his voice. You know, his vibrato is just kind of off. And I'm not totally convinced that he's picked the right songs that fit his voice yet. But at the same time, we'll just have to see how he progresses. But I could see him being a heartfelt favorite, but not lasting long when you're up against a lot of these other singers whose styles are, I think, more interesting. All right. Now, the next group of people, we've got Jenna Renee. To put Jenna Renee ahead of Jessica Cabral, blasphemy. James the Eighth, come on. I like the guy, but he was so weak. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. If that's one of the 12 best male singers in the country, then, man, we're in big trouble. I mean, there's no way. He's just not in the right league. He's way out of his league. Corey Wheeler, he's a B, really, he's a B level entertainer. And his image, his look, he's not a bookend to Kelly Clarkson. Adam Lasher, you know what? He's really good, but he's overthinking this. You know, he's trying to be something. I still feel. I don't know who he really is yet. I'm not sure if I can see him going that much further. So interesting, but no, I don't know. All right, now Genevieve Rose Mitchell. Let's just say that Ring of Fire song was interesting, and she definitely took a lot of chances and risks. I love that about her. Her spirit is undeniable. Her skills are, I think they have the most room to improve still. The thing is, she still sounds so young in her development, but the nice thing is I think America's going to love her enough that we're going to see a lot more of her. So, as strange as some of the stuff she's doing is, I think she may calm down, and as long as she doesn't just completely train wreck on a song when the judges just have to kind of say, okay, this is a week we're going to get rid of Genevieve. I mean, I see that being a potential week, okay? Let's see what happens. C.J. Johnson, same thing. He does Parachute, and, you know, I've tried to explain this before. It's that space where he just gets into a space and kind of stays there, and it sounds good, but he doesn't take me anywhere emotionally. It's like, okay, it's like, here's where I'm going, boom. Okay. But it just stays there. It's kind of, again, the sound man that's controlling the knobs versus the guy that's the musician, that's paying attention and moving with the music, versus the guy that just twists a few knobs, folds his arm, then just sits there till the song's over. He thinks it's just a volume thing. It's boring. I think CJ's going to get boring fast, sorry. Okay, Amelia Eisenhower. She's probably my favorite musician because did you hear how she sounded on the violin? I mean, it was those are improvised licks and they were crisp. She's a jazz musician. You know, Amelia's got a lot of potential. I would love to see her like as the next young jazz touring artist coming up. I hope she doesn't try to go pop because she can get so deep. Her ability to get edgy and her grit and her to dig deep. That's it. You know, it's like soulfulness. That is priceless. You know, that's the hardest thing to teach. It is teachable. I know how to teach it if anyone wants to know. But the cool thing is, she's got it. And she's 16 years old and she can play the violin. And I'm telling you, go listen to that again and listen to how she just swings those licks. I mean, it sounds like a legitimate jazz musician playing. I mean, she's really, really good. So I'm really glad that she made it, and I'm looking forward to her making it a lot further. Okay, Lee Jean. I've listened to him a couple times now on this song, Make It Rain. And here's what I'm going to say. Again, I really like his feel. He's just too young. He's not ready. I do expect him to go far. I think it'd be great for him to go in the top 10. That's where he would grow and mature a lot. You know, his voice is still not where it's going to end up. So he's got a lot of growth potential. But is he there right now? No, he's not the Kelly Clarkson bookend. Same thing with Avalon Young. As much as I love her whole approach, you know, she's so urban, but she doesn't. But her image doesn't seem urban. So she's really accessible. You know, she's kind of like a bridge artist that could make a lot of, just say, pop lovers that aren't as into R&B and hip-hop, they could help bring people that way. She's a good bridger artist. And like I said, I really like just her tone. I like her pocket, you know, her feel, time and feel. That matters more than anything. Okay, now we get to our number 2 biggest disaster. What were you thinking, judges and producer? China Sherrod. I'm blown away. I'm blown away. Her voice, like I say, a couple episodes ago, when her voice was the voice coming in off the commercial and it sounded like it was a studio recording for a commercial. Her voice is so special. And her age, same thing. I don't know what we didn't see because everything we saw, she was fantastic. So I'm quite upset about her. She's one I really think should have been in there. Now we saw a couple of other eliminations: Mary Williams, Zach Person. I felt the same way, but I think Zach, from what I heard, I would have picked Zach over, say, 3 or 4 of the guys that made it through. I think the guys that I've already kind of told you that I wasn't that superly impressed with. I think he was more interesting. I don't think he's someone that can go all the way. So that's probably why they decided not to have him in. I really wish, like I say, China got robbed, I think. Okay, so now Dalton pulls another card out of his hat. It's going to be me. And Sync. And the thing is, he did a really good job with it. I liked it. I was kind of impressed. But at the same time, there's still some things about him that I'm wondering how he's going to be able to deal long term with continuing to change. But I don't know, he seems pretty smart. Like I said, I want to see what he does. I'm not going to predict as much on him, other than I'm pretty sure he's a top 10 lock. Okay? All right. Moving right along. Manny Torres, Master Blaster. The sad thing about Manny, I was really impressed when they used him as the last person on auditions. Audition episode number 6, so just a few episodes ago. But what's weird is, I didn't like his last song. I've been really just kind of disenchanted with him during Hollywood Week. He's dropped hugely on my radar, and I don't see him lasting long, to be honest. He just didn't sound good. Master Blaster, it was just like, a college kid or something. It's like, what were you trying to say with that? It was just a cover. I didn't see anything unique. It's just, yeah, he did a good cover of Master Blaster. But I'm sorry, he's just not moving me like I would like him to. All right, now we go to our next batch of eliminations. Lauren Wright, again, she just didn't stand out enough. And Natalia Villaranda, her mom might have got her booted. Hate to say it, but I know what it's like when you're trying to be a parent and trying to keep, figure out what's going on, and sometimes there's lots of fairness issues. This is, and again, there's no perfect way of dealing with it. So I'm not going to put all the responsibility on the show. There are things they were pretty deliberate about that were kind of cold-blooded, I will say, and that will come up probably in book form. But in the meantime, I would rather. No, I'm just kidding. By the way, John Clausen. We got to see Cassie Levels, Andrew, the Russian guy. That wasn't going to work. You knew he wasn't going to really be a legitimate American Idol. American wasn't going to vote for a guy from Russia, really, with all due respect to him. Because I like the kid, but he reminds me kind of the Vassar guy. Their voice doesn't fit this competition, and it's not really an American Idol kind of voice. The guy I wanted to know more about was John Clausen. We didn't really see much of him or hear much of him, but when we did hear him, he sounded really good, and if he was only 17, I wanted to hear more of him. For some reason, the show didn't want him. He was kind of like maybe a Justin Timberlake-ish type guy, but he like I said, I remember him being real solid, what we heard. So now, we go to Thomas Stringfellow. And I'm sorry, but I guess he's fitting a type. But I just know he's not going to last long. He just doesn't have enough depth. And he needs more tools in his toolkit because he's overusing the ones he's got. As far as Sonica goes, I would say that she does have a lot of upside too. And it's interesting how the judges are really making a big deal about her them needing more from her. And I see what they're saying, but to me it's kind of like David. It's understated, and that's what the allure is. That's what a lot of people like about it. And I think that she is going to rise. I think she's got more horsepower in the engine. She's got another gear that she's going to discover. Okay, I'm going to predict that. She's someone who I think really could step it up big time. I see her kind of like a Carrie Underwood, okay? But, let's see. Okay, Meili Delgado. I loved her spirit so much, I felt like, come on, you got to put her through over, say, Jenna Renee. Come on. That her, China, and Jessica Cabral didn't get in, and Jenna Renee did. Come on. All right. I'm upset about her. I think she's a good person. I want to hear more of her. I wish they would have given her a chance. Now, Olivia Rocks, like I say, I've already raved about her in the previous video. She stepped it up big time on this particular stage of the contest, and I think she set a bar now that the other girls are going to have a hard time meeting. I really do. I think she's got the most diverse area she could go as far stylistically, and she's so young. You know, I don't know, I think she could really be a contender if she stays on point. If she does more of what she just did and stay away from the original stuff. It's just between. That's what I think. Okay. Now, let's get to Emily Brooke. Okay, she did make it this time, and borderline, and like I say, I like her a lot. I think she's very marketable. She's going to mature. She wants it. She's got a good work ethic, it seems. Her voice is great. She's ahead of the game is where I think Taylor was at this stage, other than, don't factor in songwriting. And now we get to another person that I have mixed emotions about, and that is Sarah Stern. I thought she had such a grit and rawness and honesty about her and innocence, and she doesn't look like her voice. I really liked her, and I was hoping she would make it through. So I'd call her a borderline bad judgment call by the judges and producers. Jordan Simone, no question there. Tiffany LeMay, Kayla Mickelson, yeah, all of them. On Destiny, same thing. You just kind of knew that they just weren't different enough. They didn't stand out, and some of them we didn't even get to really see that much. So, all right, now Gianna Isabella. Okay, no surprise there, but I think we've seen all she can do. Okay, I don't think she's going to be able to do anything more. She's already on. She's given 100%. She's a great contestant. She'll do okay, but she's not going to make it past. I mean, there's 4 or 5 contestants I can think of right now that I know are going to do better than her. That's my prediction. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. We'll see. Okay, now we go to Jen Blosel, and I totally think she's deserving of top 24 because she is so unique and quirky, and she's the best of the quirkies that have ever been on the show, I think. She's got a lot of depth to her, and knowing that she's a Mormon, I just love the contradiction of image. From returned missionary to this image of meth head type. And like I say, that's just what people are saying, right? Everything she looks like some, person that's done way too many types of drugs, whatever. Please don't take that personally. Anyone that knows or represents her is related, I'm not, I love her. But just a vibe. All right. Then we see a bunch more people, some of them we didn't even see much. Christian Eason, Ariel Sprague, and Kelsey Watts, and Siobhan Fielder. We saw them, and Kelsey I thought was really good. I wouldn't have been surprised if... But you know what? Her vibe, though, again, we've seen it so many seasons on the show, and, this season it's going to be about LaPortia. They don't really need another representative of that R&B soulful vibe. All right. So now we get down to Tristan McIntosh, and I think she did a really good job with the song. Again, what's cool is she's still got an innocence in her voice, even though it's like you can feel her transitioning from young woman, or like from a little girl, and she's blossoming as a young woman, and you can feel it in her, the energy coming from her, and she's got this depth to her. There's a lot in her heart and spirit that I think everyone's feeling. Again, kind of a David thing. And I really do like where she's coming from. And yeah, that she's had some criticisms, and the judges have pointed things out to her that she needs to improve. But I expect her to continue to rise, and she definitely is going to carry way deep into this. She's top 10 lock for sure. All right, so now the fun part. We get down to Jordan Sasser versus Casey Haynes, who both, I think, shouldn't have been in. So to me, this was just, okay, it doesn't matter which one makes it, because I don't think either one of them has long-term potential. So no big deal. Casey Haynes goes. Again, he's too much like last year. They're still not sure what to do with Nick. I think they're really just trying to figure out a graceful way to bow out, because he's not going to be that marketable. I'm sorry. He just got a good crash course on how the music business works. That's the cool thing. You win one of these, you get a record deal, and you get to work with the best people at the highest levels. I mean, when I see who's still producing and mixing and stuff, it's the same people that we're dealing with, and they're great. I mean, they're the best. They really are. So it's really like it's something that you'll never get any other way, and that is the opportunity to work for free and to get paid to work with these best people in the world. And kind of like my whole approach to this whole world when I was going through it was, I'm just looking at this as a learning. Just try to observe and learn as much as I can along the way, because this will never come again. All right. So, quick itch fix. Sorry about that. Jordan Sasser makes it. He's not going to last long. I just know it. His voice doesn't fit. And also his attitude. He said, I saw Kelly. I said, I'm going to win that show someday. That's cheesy, and I think that turns people off and makes them not root for you. At least the way he said it. Okay, and then between Lindita and LaPortia, there was no question. I've been recognizing Lindita for what she is, and she is really, really good, but she's still kind of just a Christina Aguilera sing-alike. She's really good, but I admire her and I respect her, and she's got such a great perspective and attitude, and she's worked so hard, and to lose that kind of weight, that's unbelievable. So, I think she should have gone a while ago. It doesn't surprise me she didn't make it, but to put her up against LaPortia as though LaPortia wasn't going to make it, that was just kind of a waste of drama. They needed to pit two people, like maybe Jenna Renee, because this other way just didn't work. Now, having said this puts us at the end of this top 24. What's going to come next? Well, it appears that we're now going to have an episode where the 24 are going to be divided into two groups of 12. And they're not girls and guys. For some reason, there's random numbers of each, supposedly. And as such, we're going to have 12 perform this week and 12 perform next week, which is kind of messed up. But with that being said, we know that we're going to be narrowing this down, and from what I understand, 5 people are going to be gone from this first group of 12. So we'll have 7 left, and then we'll have another group of 7. And out of that 14, I think they're going to whittle it down to 10 or 12, and there may be a wild card round. So there's still a lot of drama and interesting things to come. Now, do I feel good about the top 24? Let's do a quick review. And let's just figure out again who we're dealing with. And we just kind of go down. If you go to that Viva website and you want to just do a quick review of everyone, Adam Lasher did Stay by Rihanna. Okay? It was okay. It was too, again, his moves are too calculated, and there's just not enough emotion in it for me. It feels too rehearsed, and not there's not enough spontaneity. Amelia Eisenhower, New York State of Mind, you got to see that, and it was fantastic. And again, pay attention to her violin playing; it'll blow your minds. Avalon Young, again, great pocket, great feel, great vibe. I'd still only give it about an 8, so I'm still feeling I need more from her, but I really like her. C.J. Johnson, same thing. He's a 7 for me. He just never gets up into that range that I feel he needs to get. Maybe an 8 sometimes, but he's not a 9. Dalton Rapatoni, It's Gonna Be Me, that NSYNC song. We saw that. It was okay. It wasn't great. C.J. Johnson, by the way, does Parachute by Chris Stapleton, and it's okay. It's just, like I say, it just kind of stays in the same space. Now, Emily Brooks So Small, they kind of acted like it was a disaster. I thought it sounded really good. So, not sure what everyone was thinking there, but it makes Emily be a legit country potential star. I see her fitting that niche perfectly. So, I kind of like her. But I do see that she needs some refinement. So, let's see if she goes far enough. John Isabella, she does her mom's song, I Still Believe. It's getting a little, I'm tired of the Brenda K. Starr story already. She's good, but like I say, I think we've seen everything she can do. James the Eighth, Change the World by Eric Clapton. It just isn't enough there for me. I'm sorry. I'm just not feeling James. Then Genevieve does Ring of Fire. We saw that. It's interesting. It's good, but it's just got some weird elements, but we love her and we want her to do well. Jem Blosso, Hanging Tree, very interesting, works for me. Jenna Reneda's Flat on the Floor by Carrie Underwood. It actually is much better than the vibey thing she tried to do at first, I think. I still feel that she's not near as good as Jessica Cabral. I'm really disappointed. Jordan Sasser did nothing for me on Love Runs Out. Sorry, I didn't feel a thing there. Corey Wheeler, Electric Love. It was okay, but again, I just look at him as a 7 or an 8. He's just, nothing he does is a 9 to me. La Portia, I'm not sure why she did that same song. I'd like to have heard her do something else. But she kills it. No question she should be in the top 24. No question she should be top 10, in my opinion. Okay, Lijon, same thing. Little Weak, Make It Rain by Ed Sheeran, but it's got potential. He's got potential. Mackenzie, Manny Torres, I mean, hey, we'll just go through everybody. So you can go take a look at everybody, all the way down to Tristan McIntosh and Trent Harmon doing Tiny Dancer. So, enjoy. And I've got some more fun things I'm going to be doing, and I'll start using some tweeting and some things like that. So, again, if you guys have any comments, questions, feel free to shoot them over. See you soon. Thanks.